having musical circles. It's called moving around as quickly as you can. Hi and good evening and welcome to THFC Till I Die, the best show on earth with the 4 best Spurs supporters on the planet. We've got the oldest, the wisest.
Spot didn't give me a mistake.
Well. Me and the Keeler think that Colin is a closet fan.
Dare you?
Closet Spurs fan, you know you are, mate. Come on.
5 seconds in. That must be the earliest cock up you ever made, Dermot.
No, I'm telling you, he's a closet Spurs fan, Philip. He really is. With me, isn't he, Tequila?
I don't think so. Admit it, Con.
No,
Admit it.
No, I am definitely not a closet Spurs fan at all.
There you are.
Well, he's an Ireland fan anyway, so big up to Colin. We cannot do that. We can't begrudge him for that. But welcome. This is where you want your latest news, views, and everything to do with Spurs. You'll find it right here on THFC Till I Die. Joining me tonight is the 3 wise men of the Spurs world. With me is my usual co-host in these things. I don't know what to describe him. Next to me, I think there's something. But Tequila, how are you this evening, sir?
I'm all right, mate. I'm just being a lime driving around. You know, got a new title as well.
Yeah,
I've been busy doing nothing in the transfer market.
Yeah, you're very good at that. I have to say, you're very good at that. Down below, Tequila, well, this man is the wisest of us all. He is the wisest Spurs fan. When we're in trouble, we look to this man for wisdom, and we look for this man for guidance. Of course, he is the one and only Philip Brady. Philip, how are you this evening?
So God help if you're expecting guidance from me at the moment. But anyway, I'm okay. I'm grand. Yeah, 10 days to go to the start. No, less than 2 weeks to go to the start of the season. So that's what's keeping me going. Leicester away.
Dermo, Joe's right. I'm looking as well. There's something wrong with the layout.
Is that
for some reason? Yeah, it's only showing you and Com for some reason. It's not showing me or Phil.
I can see all of us.
Yeah, I'm looking at the actual stream though. Okay, you fixed it. Whatever you've done there has fixed it.
I don't know what I did.
Sorry, your technical genius fixed it.
Oh right, is that?
Oh, Com, well done, Com.
Well done, Com. Phillips is in between the two of them. Phillips holding up the Keeler and banging Colin on the head.
And the meat and the sandwich, you mean?
Yeah, you are. You look a bit tasty, Philip. I say you were tasty in your heyday.
It's always the best place to be in the middle.
What do you mean in me heyday?
I can see where this stream's going right away.
Anyway, and down below, Philip is, of course, also a tech guy. And can I just point out, anyone that's living in England at the moment, from all of us here, please keep safe. Please keep to your nearest and dearest as well. Hope everyone is safe out there. It's a tough time for you in England, but please keep safe and be careful out there. If you're going out, walk in pairs. Let everyone know where you're going. Email, WhatsApp, parents, wives, whatever. Don't go out your own. Keep in pairs and try to be safe. It's Colin. How are you this evening, Colin? Who does a fantastic job, by the way, on our tech side as well. So big up to you, Colin, for that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm great, thank you. It's been a long day today for me. I've been working and whatnot. But yeah, I'm happy to come home, rest up a bit, and talk some football.
It's what we want. Now, very quickly, this is the last you're going to hear of it. But for me, I want to apologise about the podcast on Friday from my side of it. Philip, do you want to say something as well? Because I know
I
you
apologise.
haven't been around to say anything.
I apologise as well. Things just got out of hand a wee bit. It wasn't planned. It just happened, and it'll not happen again. So anybody that was offended by it, I humbly apologise, and it'll never occur again. I can assure you.
Yeah. Me and Philip had a long talk. We got it out of our system. What was the problem? We've caught it, and we won't say it again. Right, guys. Well, look at that. We're up to 1,880. Yay! Hey.
No, 20 more people. Come on, 20 more. Come on.
I tell you what, we're only 2 off the year Tottenham were formed.
That's a good one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, we've got a little bit of breaking news, so this is what this is for. Guys, Real Madrid, look, they want to buy Romero. To put interest out there, Romero is up for the Real Madrid would like to buy Romero. Romero has come out and said he wants to stay at Spurs. He's happy and everything like that. I'll start from the top and work my way down. Tequila, what's your views on that bit of breaking news that was given to me in the last few minutes?
If anybody didn't see this coming, then you must be new to football. He won't be going this year, but next year, we're going to have to do something pretty amazing in the league this year to stop him from going to Madrid next year. That's all I've got to say, bruv. Sorry to tell you.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Philip, what's your words on it?
Yeah, well, this was mentioned a couple of months ago, and it's kind of died a death then. Before the European Championships, that Real Madrid were interested in him. He won't go this season. Season. Whether we can hold on to him probably does depend on how we do this season. But like Romero is enjoying life at Tottenham, and I don't know, would he be the type of player that wants to go and play in the goldfish bowl that's like Real Madrid? You know, where your every move is in their own daily newspaper out there, so you can't even. You know, if you park on a double yellow line, it's on the front page of the paper the next day. So I don't know, is that his type of? He's a reasonably big fish in a big pond at Spurs, whereas he would be in the public headlights in Real Madrid. So maybe it'll happen at some stage, but I don't think at this stage.
Very few players reject Real Madrid. Let's be
but can they afford them? Because Real Madrid, I believe, are not the most sound financially at the moment. So you know. I mean, if
they always managed to, didn't they? They got Mbappe.
Yeah,
how much did they pay for Mbappe?
We could ask 100 million for Romero. You know. So anyway,
Is he worth 100 million?
No, he's not. Nobody's worth 100 million. But we can still ask him. You know, Daniel Levy's not going to give anybody away.
Well, we asked the man himself up the top above you, Philip. Mr. Levy, what's the going price for Romero?
Oh, it's going to be 80 or above, isn't it? It's usually going to be 80 or above.
Yeah. Colin, from a fan looking out, looking in, can you see Romero going next season? I agree with the lads. I don't think he will go this season. And I do agree with the lads saying it depends what we do this season. So where are you on that? I mean, it's bound to happen, wasn't it? But Philip makes a very good point. They're not financially sound.
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody's made good points. To be fair, I think you're going to be safe this season. I don't think Real Madrid have the money this season, to be honest, and I don't think Romero wants to go this season. So yeah, I think it's going to be all based on what you actually do this season. You know, if you're winning trophies and stuff by the end of this season, then hopefully for you guys, Romero stays. But you know, Real Madrid are a massive club when it comes to the world of football. And, you know, the Spanish league is very favoured by the Southern American population. And, you know, he knows he's going to get a trophy if he goes to Madrid. Maybe he wants a trophy before he retires. You know, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens next year, I suppose.
He's only 24.
Yeah, but, you know, that still stands. What I'm going to say there. He wants a trophy before he retires. No offence to Spurs, but... You know, you need to get your act together.
Calm. He's got trophies. He's got World Cup winner and the Copa America.
And the Copa America.
I'm on about league
club
trophies.
Hold on. A couple of days ago, we won. What's it called, Damo?
Oh, don't even
the
start
World
without
Championships. We're world champions. Even Philip was asking when the bus parade for that, weren't you, Philip? You're asking when the bus parade. Yeah.
Actually, it was the number 136 that goes past White Hart Lane.
Yeah,
there might be room for 40 people on it if you're lucky. You know,
you're champions. You've got a trophy in a tournament that nobody apart from Spurs and whoever you played, some Japanese team actually gave a rat's ass about. To be fair,
can I just say,
still had to win it.
Yeah, we did the watch along to that.
If you had lost it, I'd be worried.
Actually. It wasn't about getting that, to be fair.
If you had lost it, I'd be worried.
Yeah, well.
I mean, the Man United lost friendlies, Chelsea lost friendlies, Man City lost friendlies. Everyone's been losing friendlies this summer. Mind you, they've been playing bigger teams than Spurs did. But
yeah, that's so true. Tequila, do you want to go through the chat, sir? You're the chat man, so I'll let you go through the chat if you can. If I bring them up, yeah, just bring them up and we'll welcome people in.
Firstly, there's this idiot.
Yeah, I don't know why you keep letting him in.
Just ignore him. Talks crap. Joe's saying, "Where is everyone?" I think that was to do with the setup.
Yeah.
That was a bit mucked up. Wayne Bonner, you are a mod now, my friend. I forgot. Oh no, I've added you back. It was just a
Tequila?
mistake, bro.
This is Philip's bit of the channel that nobody can do. So Philip
no. My throat is very sore at the moment.
Okay.
So,
well, Tequila, you have to give this the full beans. Me and Philip
You have
give it
to.
the full beans. You have to give it your weight.
Good evening, everybody.
you got the job. You got the
You
job.
got the job. That's yours.
He said everybody instead of everyone, by the way.
Yeah.
He still got the job.
That's a minus. That's a minus point. Sorry.
Everybody sounded better. Blame Wayne. Hope you're all well. I always knew Con was one of us. He certainly is.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not.
We fixed it, Jay. Thanks for telling us. This is just a Patreon plug. Well, we still haven't got memberships back, though. It's August, isn't it? So it'll be a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
we can reapply again on the 26th. So keep your fingers crossed. That's the channel's birthday, by the way, the 26th of August. We're 3
Maybe
years
we'll have
old.
some
on
good
that
luck.
day.
Yeah. So that's the link for anyone who's who wants to do it. Big up DJ Samuel. Big up Daniel Zito. This club is a joke. I mean,
it's a bit harsh. Give it time. Give it the end of the season. Give it the end of the transfer window anyway.
I understand, Daniel. I'll put it that way. I understand. DJ Samuel, will Tottenham pay 65 million? I sure hope not. Lou Chills Music. We finally need a striker up front. We've needed a striker up front for over a year, bro. That's what I think. And Wayne Bonner is saying, "Damn, thought I was listening to Robin Williams and good more." Well, that's what I was challenging.
I asked this to Philip earlier, and look, the last decent, apart from the generation we got now, the last decent product of a youth academy was Harry Kane. And with all the strikers that we've been linked with, and we are going to go into Solanke in a minute, I said it last night. I'm very frustrated with this transfer window. Yeah. Solanke is very underwhelming for me. If it was Ivan Toney, I'd probably be a bit more excited.
Yeah.
But look, I don't know whoever wants to start this first, jump in. But were we spoiled with Harry Kane, how good he was, the goals he scored for us? I mean, after Jimmy Greaves retired, we had Martin Shivers came in for Tottenham, who took over from Jimmy Greaves. After Martin Shivers, we had Archibald and Crooks for Tottenham in the 80s.
There was a gap in between there, with the likes of John Duncan and Ian Moores, and they kind of came in, but they weren't real. They were just weight strikers. They weren't really any good.
Yeah, that's true. And then you had other strikers coming in. Have we been spoiled for choice, lads, as Spurs fans watching Harry Kane?
I'll just take this if you don't mind. Okay, Harry Kane, any club that had Harry Kane and lost him, had Harry Kane for as long as Spurs, I would be spoiled. I mean, he was a goal machine, right? That's point taken. We should have replaced him last summer. We didn't, right? But just to go back a little bit further, Harry Kane never won a trophy with Tottenham. Neither did Jurgen Klinsmann. Neither did, who else? Jerry Armstrong. Neither did... there's a couple of others that didn't win trophies. It was good. Robbie Keane got one trophy, I think. So the fact that we haven't had a decent striker or a replacement for Harry Kane doesn't necessarily mean we're going to win trophies. We've struggled to never replace Harry Kane. That's probably the best way of putting it. And Solanke or Ivan Toney, to me, neither of them could hold a candle to Kane. But they're English. And that's what we need to replace them with, an English player, because we're way over quota on foreign-based players, or foreign-born players. Yeah. And is there anybody better than Solanke or Toney? I don't think so. Ollie Watkins would probably be the only one. There's no way Villa would sell him to us. So we're kind of in a catch-22 situation here. We need to either get rid of a number of foreign players to bring in another foreign striker, or buy an English striker, namely Solanke.
Yeah. Tequila, do you agree with Philip? Do you have your own opinion?
It makes logical sense what he's saying regarding it being English, but if those are our only two options, I think we're making the wrong option.
But who else is there? Who else
Tony.
is there? Yeah, Tony or
out of-
Solanke. Tony or
out
Solanke.
of, yeah, out of those two, then I think it's Tony easily because he's done it for longer. You see, last year you kind of can't count because of the whole banning, because of his silly, and that goes against him. Don't get me wrong, the whole fact, and I don't believe, me and Dermo have had this conversation a lot. I don't believe he's particularly learnt his lesson. That doesn't mean he's going to go do it again, but I don't particularly think he's shown that much remorse. And for all intended purposes, he seems to be a bit of an idiot, for lack of a better term. But apparently, there's rumours that Arsenal were interested, and then Arteta met him. I've heard stuff that Arteta met him and was totally put off by him, by how he was. Don't know how true that is, but I've heard it.
Is Solanke 2 years younger than Tony?
Yeah, he's a bit younger.
Yeah, he's a bit younger.
Yeah,
Which for Levy is a plus point, because with
Tony,
Tony,
it should be a plus point.
With
really.
Tony, you're not going to get particularly a sell-on fee. You're probably not going to sell him on in a couple of years to get much back. With Solanke, there's a bit more of a window there, but for 65 million for Solanke, I think it's an absolutely terrible deal. I'm sorry, no one will convince me otherwise.
But Tequila, there's no player going at the moment, I don't think, for what they're actually worth. The prices are so inflated. It's an absolute joke. He had one good season with Bournemouth. His price doubled. What did they pay Liverpool for him? 25, 30 million?
It's also because of the sell-on fee. If Liverpool didn't have the 20%, I think it is, sell-on, then probably that would be reduced probably to about 50. Yeah. If they didn't have the 20% sell-on, which is just the way that it is.
Why don't Spurs offer Solanke, to get Solanke, offer a couple of our fringe players as part of the deal, get them off the wage list and reduce his price? Because Bournemouth are hardly overstaffed with players. They've got a small squad. So you get the likes of Oliver Skip or someone like that, it could be made as a make weight in the deal. That's what I'd be aiming to do.
Is it more that we need to get? I mean, Colin, is it more we need to reduce our foreign side of the club than the English quota? Because we seem to have plenty of room for the English quota. It's the foreign players that we need to get rid of. The likes of Reguilon are not going to be used this season. So could he not be used as a gateway for, say, an Ivan Toney? But Ivan Toney's not going to be moved because the striker they brought in is injured. So I'm very underwhelmed with this. I look, I can see where Philip's coming from, and I can see where Tequila's coming from. I'm just very underwhelmed by. But after getting in Bergville and seeing how well these play, seeing how well Archie Gray has played, do you know what I mean? Buying this young lad we bought from South Korea, he's the future. But I thought Tottenham should be going for the best of the best.
But the best of the best cost hundreds of millions, Dermot. The best of the best.
Yeah, but
and there's no English strikers out there, really.
No, that's the thing. And the thing is, we can spend up to 400 million.
The issue is you've got to think about here. Yes, Spurs should be going for the best of the best, but the best of the best isn't available. Your best of your best is obviously.
And they want Champions League. And they want Champions League.
And they want Champions League. I know he's old, but Robert Lewandowski is considered, one of the best of the best. He's not available. Mbappe is not available. Victor Osimhen, okay, he wants out, but Napoli are making it pretty much impossible for him to go anywhere at the minute. So he's not available. I wouldn't class Ivan Toney as the best of the best either. Yes, he's an upgrade from obviously Solanke, but he's not the best of the best. So who is it you're actually looking for? I think that's the question. Who is it you're looking for? Because
somebody he's had more than a one. He's more than a one season wonder.
I get what you're saying there by a one season wonder, but who?
But you can be sure that Ange Postecoglou and the backroom team have gone through Solanke's stuff, his stats, his attitude, the way he plays the game with a fine tooth comb. And if he ticks enough boxes and he can play the way Ange wants Spurs to play, then I'll support him if he comes. But I don't want him buying a striker just for the sake of buying a striker who does not fit the role he's required to play. We need someone that can hold the ball up and wait for the midfielders to arrive. And Solanke can do that. Now, maybe he can't do it as well as Toney, but I'm struggling to find an alternative to either of those two guys.
Yeah, I think we all are. I mean, you've got some stats there, haven't you, Colin, on Solanke, and you've done it on a few other players. So do you want to go through them for us a little bit, the stats? Because he did have good stats last season, Solanke, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, I can run for a couple for you, and like
Yeah.
obviously, if you want me to talk about anything, feel free to jump in. I'm not going to look at a lot of his stuff. So his shots on total per 90 is actually 2.87, so nearly 3 shots per 90. So he actually, he's not afraid to shoot at all. His shot creating actions is also 2.14. His touches in the penalty box 5.85. Pass completion 73.5. This is all per 90. Progressive pass rate 5.1. Aerial wins. So this one I think is quite important because obviously he's going to be your target man. And if you've got the likes of Johnson and Son running off of him, I think it'd be quite good. Is 2.63. So he's winning pretty much 3 aerial duels a game. But obviously that could improve. Now, obviously, I'm a very stats-orientated person because obviously it's what I like to do. I like to look players, scout players, do all this and all that. I've actually compared him to 5 other players that are very, very similar to him that are in the Premier League. So I will give you the names of the players. If you would prefer any of them, let me know because I would like to actually know what you're thinking. So the players I've compared him to are Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Rodrigo Munez, Elijah Adebayo, Ben Brenderton, and Johan Wissa.
That's the guy who plays for. He used to play for Blackburn. Who did he get transferred to?
He's at Brentford.
Brentford, that's him. Yeah.
So they're the players that I've compared him to, and I've compared all the stats and everything, and obviously set myself up a little thing that I can see.
We'll get that up on the community page for you guys, and we'll do a show in this. And Colin's going to be our stats man for this season. He's going to do all the scouting reports because this is his thing. I'm not a stats person. I know Philip sort of is a stats person. I think Tequila's sort of a stats person. I'm really not that much of a stats person, but this is up Colin's tree. Look, I'll start with you, Tequila, and then I'll go to you, Philip, next. Look, if you look back through the years since you started supporting Tottenham, who's been your favourite striker? Who's been
Berbatov?
Yeah,
easily. By the way, like there's a significant gap between Berbatov and everyone else.
Yeah,
I was crying my heart out. I was crying my little eyes out when we sold him to United.
Oh, poor little kid.
Especially how we did it, and we got Fraser Campbell in return.
Yeah,
you certainly mugged us, Oscom, didn't you? Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Philip, I know who you're going to say, but can you pick another? I know you're going to say Jimmy Greaves, and I think everyone agrees. But is there any other striker in your time you thought, do you know what? If he was, why I'm asking, if he was available now, who would you pick to be the Tottenham striker for next season? That's sort of the point where I'm going. So,
well, I'll leave Harry Kane out of it, but the one I would go for is Jurgen Klinsmann. Jurgen Klinsmann absolutely lit up Tottenham when he came there 30 years ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, And it was a bit like that was the nearest best thing to an Aussie Idealist transfer was Spurs landing Klinsmann. It was completely out of the blue.
Who's the other one as well? We signed 3, didn't we, from that World Cup?
Yeah, we signed Dumitrescu and Dumitrescu and Popescu from the Romanian. Yeah, they were good players too. But see, Klinsmann, I mean, you have to only look at his debut against Sheffield United. And doing the dive celebration, that was just brilliant. No, he was class act.
Why Berbatov for you, Tequila? Phillips gave Klinsmann these reasons why. Why Berbatov for you?
I think Berbatov was more or less the perfect striker. I think the only thing you can say that Berbatov lacked was work rate. He gave the impression he was a lazy player, but I think that was just how he played.
Yeah.
Everything from his
touch was unbelievable.
His touch was one of the best touches I've ever seen, and he could finish, and he didn't mind the physical game either. He was a big guy. He wasn't slow. He wasn't super fast, but he wasn't slow. Like I say, the only thing you could argue about him was his work rate. He could get into a strop if stuff wasn't going his way. That's the only thing I've got. The only criticism I've got against. And if you look at the chat, people are saying Jermaine Defoe and Robbie Keane.
Yeah.
And you know what sucks is we had all three of them at once. We had Jermaine Defoe, Robbie Keane, and Berbatov all at once. And now look at what we've got. That is why I'm so underwhelmed. Because
you know why?
Do
you know who Berbatov reminded me of? The way he should walk languid around the pitch, slope around the pitch. Alan Gilzine. They were very similar in the way they approached the game. You know, Gilzine was a lazy bugger as well, but it was great goal scorer.
Yeah,
you know?
he was. I want to say big up to Boris, who's actually a part of the channel now. He's part of the THFC family. He's now going to be. I think he's going to do a lot of Serie A for us on the other channel, which is brilliant for us. But Boris will be on tomorrow night with Tequila and myself and Philip. So Boris will be on next to get his thoughts on this. But welcome to the guys. Welcome to the family.
Big up, Boris.
No, Boris.
Big up, and I'm looking forward to the season. You know, it'd be great. To see you in. We've got Michael McDonald as well, the big Celtic fan, Philip, who hold very dear to our heart because we are massive Celtic fans as well. We are trying to convince Tequila and to become a Celtic fan to join the Celtic Barmy Army. You know, you won't regret it, Tequila.
If it makes you feel better, I prefer Celtic to Rangers. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
Well, there you go. You're within that. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine now.
I was talking to a Celtic season ticket holder at the weekend there. He goes over and back to Glasgow for every home game, and he is very worried that Tottenham are going to come after Matt O'Reilly.
He's a good player.
Yogo, Kugo, I love Tottenham. I love the Japanese striker. I love him at Spurs.
Matt O'Reilly doesn't belong in that league. I'll tell you.
No, he doesn't actually.
Yeah, he's so good.
When Ange signs a player, says Michael, a player, you better believe he will take that character into consideration. Character is a big thing with Ange, and it is, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
It really is. Look, this is the latest we've got on Solanke. This is the latest we've got from our source. Do you understand? Tottenham are pushing to get Dominic Solanke deal done. Talks are underway with Bournemouth. Solanke has given the green light to Spurs as talks are ongoing to discuss the undervalue of 65 million clause. So I want to go very quick question, yes or no for this on the Solanke thing. Tequila, yes or no?
God, no.
Philip, yes or no?
How am I going to put this? I'm going to give a reserved yes, but only if there's nobody else that we can get hold of that has English credentials.
Yeah,
I think we have to have a striker, and if we go this season without buying one, we're going to be in trouble. I know we've got Will Lancashire and the likes of that coming up, and Valise has gone out on loan now, so we really, really do need a striker. So I'll give a reserved yes. Hopefully that it comes good, but I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't.
Okay, Colin, if you were a Spurs fan, how would you feel?
I mean, if I'm going off of numbers and everything like that, which is what I'm going to go off of. And obviously all the work I've done in comparing him to everybody, including people outside of the Premier League, I'd say yes.
Big up to Colin Cross, our Celtic brother from the land of Wales, where the sheep are lovely, the grass is as green as green, the green grass of home, and when Tom Jones sings loudly. It says, "Evening, boys. Evening, Colin. Hope you're better. I am all right. I've got an op in 7 weeks' time, which you will not see me for about a month and a half. So I don't know if that's a good thing for the channel or a bad thing. It's probably a good thing. Get rid of my ugly mutt for a little while. But yeah, we're getting there, and I'll be pain-free, which is the best thing I ever want to be. Is pain-free. That's what all I want is to be pain-free. But I've been given this new chair by our local health board. And it's like sitting on the Starship Enterprise. I feel like Captain Kirk sitting in this chair. Now, this is that's one question that we'll ask in the late on one of the podcasts. Are you Kirk or Picard? I'm Kirk all the way. Premier League appearances. He's made 134 appearances in the Premier League and 29 goals. Last season, he scored 19 goals in his best ever season in the Premier League in 38 games. The previous season, he scored 6 goals in 33 appearances. Ivan Toney, on the other hand, he's made 85 appearances and 36 goals for Brentford in his Premier League appearances. Last season, he only scored 4 goals, but because of the ban and everything, but 4 and 17. And then in 22-23, he scored over 20 goals in 33 appearances. So for me, I think Ivan Toney's a better
and depends,
prospect.
and he can take pens as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now, guys, Richarlison is open to a Saudi Arabia move. Now, look, I've got a question about this, right? Now, the transfer window within itself is poor for everyone. Not all the Premier League teams are doing business. The likes of Manchester United and a few other teams have been doing business. Saudi Arabia, do you think that is Richarlison's level now?
I think any
that?
player that goes to any player that goes to Saudi Arabia is technically going into a footballing old people's home, because the standard isn't nearly anywhere like the Premiership or any European league. Like, any player that goes to Saudi Arabia is doing it for one thing only, and that's money.
It's replaced the American league, because that's how people used to view the MLS. So that's what it's done. It's replaced like Beckham go to MLS mainly for the money and for the prestige and living in Hollywood and stuff. So
do you think they're looking for a big name, guys, like Tequila, like you were talking about the MLS? Did Saudi Arabia looking for a big name?
They're looking to obviously improve their standing. But with all due respect to Richarlison, I know that he's a Brazilian international, but is he that big a name in the football world? I'm not sure he is.
Will they pay 60 million for him as well? That's another thing, you know.
Well,
I know we
Colin,
did.
I think they are. I think that's what they're willing to pay, isn't it, Colin? You heard something along them lines, wasn't it? They're willing to pay 60 million.
Yeah, it's rumored to be anywhere between the ranges of 55 to 60 million for him. I mean, the Saudi premise is they want big name players, like, if you look at the players they actually have got over there, Ronaldo and Neymar and all these other names that they actually have over there. I don't see Richarlison fitting into those kind of profiled names. However, he is a big profile player when it comes to the players that they actually have over there. Because, if you take out some of the big names, who have they actually got? And then
Ronaldo, I suppose Ronaldo would be the biggest one.
This is what I mean, though. You've got Ronaldo, Neymar, and there's a couple of others. But what other players have they got really?
But the crowds are quite low in the Saudi league of a lot of the teams. They're not getting the crowds that they thought they would get. So probably that's where the need is now, to recruit well-known players to try and bump up the crowd ends a bit.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. Personally, for me, I wish him all the very best if he does go there. I just feel that he was a small fish in a big pond at Tottenham, where he was a big fish in a small pond at Everton, which I've been constantly saying that last season. As much as Richarlison did do well last season, I don't think he's your striker to get you 25 goals a season, to be fair. I don't think so.
Which is what we
60
need.
million for him?
Take it.
Take it. Would you take it?
Bite the hand off, man.
Yeah, it's what we paid for him. I've got a bit of breaking news, guys, so I'm going to press the breaking news gunner. This is just in hot off the press, so back. This is the very latest on Solanke deal. Tottenham are considering paying the release clause of Solanke, which will be funded by the sale of Richarlison to Al Ittihad if a deal can be agreed. So this is the very latest on Solanke. Tottenham are considering paying the release clause of Solanke, which will be funded by the sale of Richarlison to Al Ittihad if the deal can be agreed. I don't know the Saudi Premier League team correctly, so I do apologise for that.
Be some fun if Richarlison turns around and says, "Nah, I don't want to go."
Do you think Richarlison is gonna, if he signs him, he's gonna say, "This is my boyhood dream. I've always dreamed of playing for them." That'd be pretty funny, wouldn't it?
You guarantee he's gonna say that. Look. I've said it before. Is the Saudi Pro League holding the European League to ransom? Because they are talking about putting in $2 billion into the transfer market within Europe.
They haven't done it yet. You know,
Yeah.
until they do, Dermot, we'll never know.
No, I suppose not.
Mhm.
I suppose not. Tottenham are waiting for players to leave the club to bring players in, same as a lot of other clubs. Patient. I hate the word patience. Oh, patience is key. Waiting for the first domino to fall. I mean, Tequila, look, you've seen a few transfer windows.
Yeah, they all seem to look a bit. They all seem to look at kind of the same.
Yeah.
Have you not noticed?
This is where I like. Yeah, go on.
I was about to say the exception was last year, because last year we did a lot of our business early.
We did,
but this year we seem to have gone back to type, unfortunately.
Well, we did get Bergvall in, and we got and Archie Gray in early. So you know, we've done some business early, but probably not just enough. You know.
The striker thing. I mean, I don't know why we've left it so long. And Solanke wasn't even at the Euros, so just for the record. So before people start using that one,
yeah,
he wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't. And Philip, look, you've seen a lot of transfer windows come and go during your knowledge of Tottenham and your history of Tottenham. And I love tapping into you in this because you've seen it all. You've been there and seen Tottenham. Why is it so hard now to buy players where years ago you could buy a player through the season? I'm believing the transfer windows are made just for entertainment more than it's suited for entertainment than for clubs.
Well, I think they changed the fact that you couldn't buy players during the season because it meant that teams like Manchester City could buy from teams that were challenging them and to do away with their opposition. So I can see why they did that. Now the thing about Tottenham and the transfer window, I've been used to sitting watching what you call your man with the yellow tie on him on Sky Sports at 5 to 11 on transfer window night. And hold on, we're breaking news from Tottenham. You know, that's just the way it's been with Spurs.
Especially under Redknapp. That was the classic was under Redknapp.
Harry was out doing the ring, working the phone.
And he played up to it as well. Harry would play up to it something chronic because he'd always wind the window down and he'd always talk to the Sky Sports.
Well,
Sky Sports news presenters.
It worked in 2010. And we ended up getting Rafael van der Vaart right at the very end of the window.
Yeah, that was great.
That was a brilliant move. So it can work, but I think the way social media has gone at the minute, it stokes unrest or uncertainty. The longer it goes on, people, when are we going to buy someone? I saw a post somewhere down. I won't say where it was today. Some guy said, I'm getting very frustrated with Spurs. I've been a Spurs fan for 2 years, and if we don't sign a striker soon, I'm going to support Man United. So
he wasn't being sarcastic? You sure he wasn't being sarcastic?
Maybe he was, but the fact that he put it in writing, there was no smiley after it. So, anyway, but it's frustrating, I know, but I still think we will be relatively satisfied by the end of the window. Not completely satisfied. That doesn't happen with Tottenham, but we get 70% or 80% of what we need.
Yeah. Colin, I mean, you look at Man United, they've done their business quite early, got a few players in. Can you understand the frustration of Spurs fans, the likes of myself, Tequila and Philip, where we are frustrated? Maybe because I'm a bit more frustrated than I normally am. And me and Tequila said last night, it's very rare to see me angry or frustrated with Tottenham with a transfer window like we've had. Have we got a right to be frustrated? Or do you think it's a storm in a teacup?
I think it's 50-1, so much or other. Yes, I understand why you're frustrated. Of course, why wouldn't you be frustrated? You want your team to bring in new players so you can help progress and everything. But yes, Manchester United have made some signings. Other teams have made some signings, but there's not a lot of signings being done at the minute. And this is what you need to understand. Yes, and like I said, Man United have made a couple of signings. I think Chelsea have made a couple of signings. I think Villa have made one signing. West Ham have made one signing. It's not like you haven't done any business. You have brought in some players. It's the same. Everybody's in the same boat, really. We're all waiting for something to spark the fuse, I'm guessing, and then we're going to see things start to develop a lot quicker and a lot faster.
My retort to Com though is that not every manager said we were going to challenge for the title, but Ange did. Biggest mistake he ever made.
That's big. Yeah, Ange just said that because he believes in his philosophy and the players he has, and obviously, maybe he's been sold down the Swanee by Levy by saying, we're going to get all these players in early. Maybe he hasn't. Maybe Ange is just, very confident and he's trying to gear up the players a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, I am frustrated, and it's very rare to me be frustrated because I'm always quite delusional or quite positive about Spurs. I always try to see the best side of it. We will get there. Things will happen, and I think last season, Tequila was right and Philip's right in a way. Last season was quite good because we got all our business done early, didn't we, Tequila? We got the likes of Van der Ven and Vicario in, and all these players in. It was one after the other last summer.
We were pretty efficient.
Yeah,
last season. The only mistake, in my opinion, we made is that we didn't plan for the Kane sale. We knew it was going to happen, but we didn't identify a striker to come in. That was our only mistake. Other than that, I thought we did okay last window. I don't know where we go with this, guys. I really don't, because I don't want to start banging the drum of, oh, this is same old, and that's not my style. I'm not like that. We spoke yesterday about Solanke, and this is a part that I can't get my head around, is that we've had all year.
I know.
Looking for a Kane replacement, right? We sold Kane nearly more or less a year ago to the day, right? Not far off.
Yeah.
And the end result is Solanke.
I know.
After a whole year.
Let's be honest, though. You're never going to replace Harry Kane.
I wasn't expecting to replace Harry Kane.
I'm a United fan, and I would have loved Harry Kane at United. Even before he went to Bayern Munich, I would have loved Harry Kane at United, because of who he is and what he's done. He's a goal scorer. But my thing with Harry Kane is his talents and ability are generational in a way. I mean, if you look back at things, you've got Harry Kane, who was generational for goal scoring. Before that, I'd probably say it was probably Drogba. He seemed to score every single time he was on a pitch. Then you had the likes of Alan Shearer before that. And then if you go back even further, there's, what I mean? There seems to be one out-and-out goal scorer. And I don't think that this generation...
missing out Thierry Henry.
Oh, yeah, Thierry Henry, sorry, yeah. But I don't think there's this generation's Harry Kane yet. He'll be there, but I don't think he's there yet.
I agree with you. I mean, you had the likes of Michael Owen, didn't you? Robbie Fowler.
Yeah, this is what I mean,
Alan Shearer, for me, was probably the best pound-for-pound striker for years in the Premier League.
I could have thrown Wayne Rooney and the people like that in, but I know there was better strikers than Wayne Rooney. I wouldn't have said Wayne Rooney was a generational striker.
No.
And I'm a Man United fan, so that says a lot. I mean,
was Alan Shearer a generational striker?
I think Alan Shearer was a generational striker. I thought Alan Shearer was probably the best striker in his day.
Why he didn't go there, and the fair play to him, sticking to his guns, going to Newcastle. And turning down, he put club before trophies, didn't he?
Yeah, I reckon one of the reasons he probably did that is because he won the league title with Blackburn quite early in his career. So maybe he kind of thought, well, I've already kind of won the biggest thing I can win, so I'm going to go be with my boyhood club. That's just what I'm maybe thinking.
Just a bit more breaking news as well, guys. I've just got in. Down the bottom, Yusuf Patterson. Big up, Yusuf. Will you bring that coming up as well, if you can, Tequila?
What's that?
For us, if you can, down the bottom there.
Yes.
Yusuf here. He's Dawn. Do you want to read that out? I don't read what I got from my source.
White in quiz. Levy says if Real Madrid can pay us £150 million for Romero. Yes, I think if Real Madrid were to offer probably anything over 100, we probably would bite their hand off, to be honest with you. 150 million, Levy would personally drive him there for that.
Yeah. Now the latest I've got is Real Madrid are interested in signing Romero. They were told an extraordinary price from Tottenham, which is the 150 million. Madrid will revisit this deal in 2025 when Romero has 1 year left on his current contract. So does that mean that with a year left, that Spurs would have to start talking contracts this season with him?
And also, and if he doesn't sign a contract, it'll be like Harry Kane. We'll have to sell him, and it will be a reduced price. It will be probably similar amount to Kane, probably.
Big up to DJ. So was we after giving this at one time? Yeah, we were after giving this at one time, apparently.
Yeah. No idea what happened with that, to be fair.
I have no idea.
That literally just died.
There's people saying that apparently he didn't, because I didn't watch Copa America. I don't know if you did, but apparently he was bad for Mexico, isn't it? He plays for. So apparently he was bad for Mexico, and people are saying, well, that's the reason why. But I don't know if that's true, that is.
Big up to Yusuf as well, Patson. Thank you for joining the channel. Please hit the notification bell for future shows. Big up to you as well. And if you are in the UK, please be careful. As I said before, go out in numbers. Let people know where you're going. And that goes for because Tequila and Colin both live in England as well. And I'd say the same thing to them as well. Me and Philip are very lucky. We live in Ireland. But for the likes of Colin and that and people in the chat, please be careful out there. And
I live in the middle of nowhere, thank God.
Yeah, but still go out in pairs. We care about our subscribers on this channel. We're a very caring channel. Pardon?
I don't think I could fit in a pair.
Well, I'm already a lime, so why not a pair? Boom.
Yeah. But we're very, aren't we? We care about our subscribers on this channel. We care about people, and we care about your welfare. And we're all one big family here, so please be very careful. And which brings me on to a point. Me and Philip were talking about this today, and I think me and Tequila were talking about it as well a little bit. And I think that Kuva rang me today, so big up Kuva if you're watching. Hope you're keeping well. So nice to hear from you. I'm going to keep this on the football side of it. If the worst came to the worst and certain laws were put into place, could football be suspended in Britain? Now, Philip made a very good point to me that why transfers are low, because all the clubs are paying for extra security, which is fair enough. You can understand that. But Philip made a very good point. And Philip, I'll bring you in the middle if that's okay, because I want to get the other guys' point for this, because we talked about this, that the lower league sides may find it a bit more difficult to keep crowd safety. And do the EFL have to help the smaller clubs? So, Tequila, with what's happening, did the EFL have to help the clubs that are a bit more strapped for cash? Then, or is it down to the Premier League to filter down and say, look, we're going to help you guys out? I mean, what do you think?
In a perfect world, that's what would happen, but we don't live in a perfect world, far from it. So, no, the clubs, it's going to depend obviously in their local police departments. They're not. I can't see them getting any help. But what you might see is you might see delay in matches, especially if there's multiple matches being held in the same kind of area, all at home and stuff like that. Obviously, they pre-plan these things, so there's not too many matches being held in the same area. But they're going to have to make it, if there needs to be increased police presence. And don't be surprised if some matches end up being suspended. It all depends on how long this thing lasts, Dermo. It could go on or it could just end. We don't know at this point, to be honest with you.
But is it down to the EFL to look after these smaller clubs? Because Philip made a very good point that people could storm stadiums that haven't got the security. And, is this going to spill into the football arena?
Without getting too into it, because I don't think most people
I'm trying to balance it out.
A lot of it is racially charged, so I don't know. It will depend. It will depend on the football clubs and what the majority of their fans are when it comes to culture and stuff. I know well it sounds, but that's it. If there's certain clubs that, let's use Spurs as an example. Even though I don't think there's a lot of Jewish fans who are, it's the way that it is, who are fans of Spurs. So that's just an example. Whereas again, there's some clubs who might have a higher percentage of certain, different cultures, and that's where, because these riots are targeted, Dermo, you got to remember they're meant to be targeted.
But I know they're targeted. So look, you make a very good point, Colin. Look, what do you think the EFL should do? I mean, it all depends, doesn't it? What your government does. But if there's a ban on holding so many thousand spaces, because football, to say, right, we're only allowed 5,000 in. Could we go back to what COVID did, playing games behind closed doors?
No. I can tell you this for a fact now. No. For the people, obviously, you guys know what I do for a living. For the people that don't actually know, I actually work in the security industry. I have my SIA license, and this is what I do every single day. Now, we're obviously informed every single time of whatever kicks off. We're informed because I actually work in a governmental building. I'm not going to say which one, but I do work in a governmental building. So no, it'll all go down to the district's councils. So basically, let's say, for instance, obviously I'm in Doncaster. So let's say the Doncaster Council know there's a football game on and it's Doncaster Rovers versus Grimsby Town for some reason. They'll have already made sure, because they also get key dates sent to them. So they'll have made sure that the police presence is there already for the allocated number of fans. Now, if they get wind of the fact that there is going to be some sort of action happening, then obviously additional police forces will be added in. But not only will the additional police forces be added in, they will search and they will go to look for companies that offer SIA protection. So people with SIA licenses, close protection, stuff like this. And they will add the additional numbers in that way as well. So football games will be covered. It's just going to be a little bit more difficult. For instance, a Manchester derby or, an Arsenal Tottenham game. That'll be a little bit more difficult depending on what the other games are. Because if it's only Arsenal and Tottenham that are playing in London on that specific week, then obviously you're going to have a lot of police force free and they can then focus on that. And then obviously you'll have additional security on top. Yeah. There are plans in place to make sure the football season does not get affected in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. Philip, look, we talked about it today. Look, we'll move on from this. I was trying to keep it more football-like, but the information Colin gave is very interesting. It's all about football brings people together, isn't it? And this is what football's about, isn't it, Philip? It's all about bringing people together. It's the national sport. Should football try to do something like to say, right, we're going to do this? The EFL or the Premier League say, right, guys, if you're struggling, we're going to help you out. Do all the football, like the EFL, Premier League, need to get together and say, right, this is what we're going to do as a collective body?
They do, but they probably won't, because what they'll be scared of is there's two sides in this, two sides to every argument, right? And if they come ahead and do something that offends one side of that argument, it could make the situation worse. So I think they'll do what they do normally. They'll sit on their hands and let someone else deal with it, because I can't see the EFL or the PL getting involved here at all. I could be totally wrong, but I think they'll just say no. That's for the police and the security forces and whatever.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen, Philip. It's not down to the EFL or the EPL. It's down to the local governing bodies.
Yeah.
Right. I just thought the Premier League could do more, and it asks a broader question. Like in general, I mean, the EFL and the Premier League still haven't agreed a deal yet to help the Premier League to filter down the money to the European Football League.
That speaks volumes, doesn't it? Really,
it does.
The worry I would have is this, right? The only worry I would have is this. You could have, remember back in the 80s, I remember, Dermot, I mentioned this to you earlier, Spurs brought out a pamphlet how they'd managed to keep the National Front guys away from the ground and causing problems at games. What would happen here now if a certain element of right wing got into a stand of the ground and started their chants and whatever, and the other people in the ground reacted to that? That's something you can never legislate for, because you don't know what politics somebody has when they're coming through the turnstile, unless they're wearing a Nazi uniform or something, But it's just something that may well come to fruition when the season starts. There may be issues in grounds that we can't really anticipate until things start up. Yeah. Hopefully, it's quieting down by then.
This is why grounds now have zero tolerance on anything like that. So if they are caught, they'll be ejected straight away and they'll be banned and they won't be able to come back.
Yeah, that's the right way to do it. Ban them for life.
That's right. But look, let's hope it's all sorted out by then. But everyone, please keep safe. Neil Shafton says anything with religion and whatever. I don't know what that word is.
Assimilation.
Anything else needs to be separated. It does. DJ Simmons said the EFL doesn't care about the small clubs, only the big clubs. I actually do agree with that. To be fair, I do. Now, why I've got all the European leagues up? If this now, the European leagues are all expecting 2 billion coming into the market. That has not happened. So now all clubs are going to work to get prices down for targets and also need to sell before they sign. It will get busy. We keep hearing this. It's going to get busy. I think this has been the most boringest transfer market window in my life. I mean, Colin, I'll start with you on this. You, me talk daily about, I talk to my source. And you get your little bits as well, Colin, that you say to me that you've heard on the grapevine. It's been really quiet, hasn't it? It's been so boring.
Yeah, it has. The amount of conversations we've had, and we're both literally like sat there banging our head against the wall because nothing is happening at all. Like, you'll send me a message like, oh, have you heard anything today? And it's like, I'll just be messaging you back going, mate, nothing happening at all. No, I haven't. Have you heard anything? And you're like, no. Yeah, this transfer window.
I think I asked Philip once, have you heard anything? He went, yeah, I've heard that Paddy O'Reilly sold some sheep down at the local fair.
Yes, Stenhouse Muir lent a player to St Mirren.
Yeah. I've asked Tequila even, did you hear anything? He went, no, but Bedford Town lost to Man City in the FA Cup and they shouldn't have lost.
I was robbed. I was robbed.
You were robbed. I mean, I was even going to put that as breaking news. Bedford City robbed an FA Cup game. It has been that quiet. I mean, last season, weren't we, guys? Colin would tell you this, and Tequila and Philip. 5 o'clock at night, I was going on, wasn't I? With different newses and news that was coming out. It was busy, and it's like this one's like.
It could still happen. It still could happen.
Yeah, it's only
all
early.
All it takes is what we got now. What will be the 7th of August? That's 24. There's 54 days left.
Yeah,
55. There's only 24 days left. Sorry, 24 days.
Yeah, I'm getting to the point where I want Tequila to go into his car and Philip roll down the window and video Tequila and Philip like Harry Redknapp back in the day. Maybe that might kick something into gear.
Nico Croucher, we'll go sign Nico Croucher, Herman Richarlison, Big Crouchy up top.
God.
What was the story Harry Redknapp told of a Man City player who was at Portsmouth and he sold them to Man City?
Well, Jumanji, was his name Jumanji? Oh, I'm thinking of the film.
He wouldn't get on the plane or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But let's be honest here. The Saudi league, because this is where this money is coming from, this 2 billion, has been very, very clever. Think about it. They've been very clever here because they've come out and said that they're going to pump 2 billion into the European leagues. So everybody's expected that.
Yeah.
Which meant prices of players goes up because of that. The money's not come. What does that do to the price of players?
Goes down.
Because they need to sell.
Yeah. Just very quickly, Philip, I know you need to go. Philip has a channel, by the way. So I'm going to let Philip plug his channel. Philip, great to see you. Where can people find you, sir?
Well, you won't find me, but you'll find as some of you might know, I play in a band on a Tuesday night in Dublin. And what I tend to do most nights, I take videos of the performances and I put them up on YouTube. And there's about 150 of them there at the minute. In fact, last night's performance is up there in 4 different parts. So I think it's at Philip Brady 1617 on YouTube. That's really all. Mainly it's my band members that watch it, but I like to someone else to go and have a look at it there. Some good stuff on there,
Okay, well, we'll get the link and I'll send the link to you, Tequila. You're the link man, and I'll get you to put the link in the chat for us. Philip, enjoy your evening.
Yeah, a very top secret assignment now at 8:30. Reading out the numbers in the local bingo hall. But anyway, here we go. Right.
Yeah, this is where Philip comes in with his medallion.
Sure.
I've seen pictures, Tequila, in the column. I've seen pictures. He has a big medallion. He walks in like Saturday Night Fever.
Hair on his chest, medallion sat on the hair.
That's it.
Puts his afro on. Yeah,
And
I've
they walk out
That's
like a
it.
Friday night takeaway. But anyway, right. Listen, lads.
that
Enjoyed that. Enjoyed that. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
Speak to you later.
speak to you later.
All right.
Okay,
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. There is Mr. Brady. Guys, just very quickly, on this tequila, look, I know I asked the question, but are you frustrated with the Saudi league, or is it not their fault at all, tequila? Or is it, is it down to clubs to actually put proper prices on proper players?
Yeah, I know what Com's saying, and this is not any shot at all at Com or any information or anything like that. But it just seems that this summer there's always been a reason why. First, it was the Euros, or then it was the Copa America. There's always a reason, apparently, why something hasn't happened.
Yeah,
and I find myself kind of like, what's the next reason going to be? What's the next reason going to be? I'm not saying that maybe that that none of these are playing a factor, but it seems like this transfer window is almost cursed for everyone then. And I say everyone because it isn't everyone. It's a lot of clubs, but it's not. Like Com's own United, they've done all right. Atletico Madrid, they're on this spending spree all of a sudden. They're all right. They're doing stuff. And again, using Solanke as a great example, he wasn't at the Euros.
No,
he wasn't in the Copa America. So
I can't argue. We can't argue with that. I mean, it's a very, very frustrating.
I can't argue with it. You're saying Man United is all right. We've made the same amount of purchases as what you have.
Yeah, but
it's
you've made that
much significantly higher profile ones than Archie Gray, which is all we've really done.
Well, Archie Gray is a good player, but I mean, we've gone out and bought Joshua Zirkzee, who's young. You know, he's not a high-profile player, to be fair.
He was at Euros.
Yeah, he was at the Euros, but he's not a high-profile player.
Higher profile than Archie Gray.
I wouldn't say he's a high-profile player anyway.
Archie Gray came from a championship club. He wasn't at Euros. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that United have managed to get stuff done. And like I say, in Atletico Madrid. So it's not like it can't be done. I'm not saying that stuff that hasn't had an impact, but it's not like deals can't be done. They can be done. But
I just hear a very frustrated Spurs fan.
Well, yeah.
You know what to do when you're frustrated, tequila. We talked about it yesterday.
Dark room, save on my electricity bill. It's all good.
Yeah. Now we're gonna go on to this. Now this is tequila's. Now tequila asked me could we mention this. This is why I left it to the end because it is worth talking. Now tequila, do you want to? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put you onto the big screen. I'm gonna move me there and you there.
The line's getting centre stage.
Yeah, you're getting centre stage. So what bugs you about this? So you start off the conversation. So what's bugging you about this?
Yeah, my original rant, I suppose, was going to be on how we do our loans. But I've been thinking about it over the last couple of hours before I said it to you, Dermo. And it's not so much it's all our loans. It seems to be a certain kind of player we bring in from abroad. Yeah. It's not the players from our youth team like Divine and players like that. Or Scarlett. We generally send them to the lower league English clubs, which is kind of what you'd expect. But we seem to have a knack now to be bringing in these younger foreign players like Gil. And rather than bedding them into the English culture and the English way of football, we seem to just send them out to Spain because he's gone to Spain, just like Gil did. And it's just like, I understand why, because it's probably the language and it's going to be easier, a culture. It's going to be easier for him to do the culture. But then we might as well just sell him to Spain then, because he's not going to get a better idea of living in England really by living in Spain. He's not going to pick up the English language, for example, if he's living in Spain. He's not going to pick up how the Premier League works or how English football in general work. It's a more physical league than the Spanish league. All of them are. He's not going to learn that playing in Spain. So I just don't understand our loan policies, particularly for younger foreign players. We seem to have no problem, as I said, doing it for our homegrown players who already live in England and everything, who probably need it less in that way. I'd rather them go to Spain, and learn and get a bit more knowledge about different football stuff, and to increase their repertoire. But instead, we seem to be doing it what I would consider the wrong way around. I don't get it. And if you can explain it to me, Dermo, or someone can.
I don't get it either. I think it's ridiculous. I honestly do. I think it's stupid. I just put it there. But I think it's ridiculous that we should loan these young players to English clubs.
A couple of days ago, Dermo, he was rumoured to be going to Southampton. When I read that, I thought, perfect. That's perfect. That's better than perfect because he's staying in the Premiership. That's better than perfect.
Now he's back off to Spain again. I mean, Colin, where are you on this? I mean, you look at Man United. They loaned their youngsters to English clubs, to learn the league. Do you think Tottenham have the wrong attitude when it comes to their young players, loaning them out, especially the foreign ones that they do loan them back to the country where they come from? It's not helping them, is it?
No, I completely agree with Tequila, to be fair. I don't understand why, because it's not just Tottenham, other teams do it, but I don't understand why teams do it, because, if you want to bed them into the English way of football and stuff like that, and you wanting it to be competitive still, the Championship is perfect place to send them.
Yeah.
No, the Championship is competitive. It's just as physical as the Premier League. Okay, the players aren't up to as, good quality as what the Premier League is. But they're going to learn the way and the way the English teams play. They're going to get physical, which means they're going to get stronger. I really don't understand why teams send them abroad, because, I mean, how is Gil going to learn how to play English football under Ange Postecoglou when he's playing in Spain under whatever manager it is he's going to be under?
I mean, Hill for me is the biggest example of how to cock up a player's career.
And is it any surprise that he ended up being sold in the end to Spain? It's like that was always going to happen, wasn't it? It's like he wasn't ever going to make it at Spurs because you keep sending him to Spain.
And it's the same as with this young lad as well. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, Fergie, you give him credit. He brought youngsters in. But I tell you one thing, them youngsters were loaned out to English clubs where they learn the English game. And it was the right thing to do. We have not got the foggiest clue what we're doing. We really don't.
But we do though, Dermo, when it comes to homegrown. We don't mind sending Scarlett off to Portsmouth, and Devine, was it Port Vale he went to? So we will send these players, and it's just not the foreign ones.
Yeah, see, Lancashire said Wrexham. He saw a Wrexham fan show. Lancashire had been mentioned as a possible loan to Wrexham from Tottenham. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, DJ says he should have went to Everton or Ipswich. Well, I would have sent him there personally myself. But is it to the player as well? Are we wrong to blame Tottenham? Is it the player? Does he say, well, look, I don't fancy going there. I want to go to Spain. Like, he'll always wanted to go to Spain because he was homesick. Well, if that's the case, then sell him then. Why did you buy him in the first place?
Well, that's what I mean. We might. The only reason is, I guess, is that maybe nobody wanted to stump up the cash.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what this player's done, but you guys might know a lot more because he is a Tottenham player. I think he might still be there. Matthew Craig.
Yeah.
Is he still at Spurs? I don't know.
I think he is still at Spurs. Yeah.
He was loaned out to obviously my local club, Doncaster Rovers, last season. Towards the end, and he helped Doncaster Rovers secure a playoff spot. Now, that's League Two football. That's probably a bit of a drop, to be fair. But why aren't you continuing doing stuff like that? Why aren't you playing them? If they're not quite ready for the Championship, you don't think, and they've not played much football, drop them down to League Two. It's still a very competitive league, or League One. They're still playing English football, which is going to help them develop a lot more. I'm not quite sure where he is now, if he's gone back out on loan or not. But, I managed to watch him because obviously I do go to Doncaster games and I still watch Doncaster. And he was a fantastic little player. I thought you were incredible, and I wouldn't have minded us signing him permanently.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Troy Parrott for us. Troy Parrott, the next best thing at Tottenham. Where's he now? he's been sold to a team in Holland.
I mean, he had a loan. Obviously, he had a loan in the Holland League and did well, which actually got him the transfer, I suppose, didn't it?
I mean, Dean Scarlett, for me, I think Dean Scarlett's not going to make it.
I don't think he's going to make it either. No, I don't think so.
So I think he needs to be sold on. The problem is we're so focused on homegrown players, we seem to forget about the foreign quota. And this is another thing as well. We're overstocked on foreign players where we can buy more homegrown. I think this is why we're trying to buy English players, because we've got plenty of room to grow them. But on the foreign side of it, we're overstocked. Now, the likes of Emerson going out, which would be great. That leaves a spot for a foreign player. But I'm afraid for.
Well, I don't think we are going to. I don't think we are. We're probably going to keep Spence. It looks like, doesn't it? So we've already kind of.
Well, Spence never had the chance, did he? To be fair, and he was used as a pawn between Levy and
he's homegrown as well, isn't he? He's English.
He is homegrown. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think homegrown is where you're going to look, where you need to look properly. But big up to Neil Shafton. He said there may be strategy why they're flying the player out to another league. Might have to do with the focus on perceived defect that might not be a big focus in the EPL or La Liga or the Bundesliga or Serie A. Good point. Big up to Hog God 10. How are you? I haven't seen you for ages, sir. Where have you been all this time? Come out of the woodwork. It says, hi, everyone. Long time no see. Hope all
Hog God.
We are well. We are very well, Hog God. Hope you're great, and great to see you back as well. Neil says we need to make sure our homegrown numbers exceed the bare minimum. I mean, look, you look at Man United. They're the team you should look for when it comes to homegrown players. To be fair, they're the teams that you look for how they done it right in the past. And I got something given to me earlier on about homegrown players and Tottenham giving them times, right? Liverpool kids played over 4,500 minutes of football last season. United over 5,000 minutes last season. Do you know who was at the bottom of that league for playing youngsters for last season?
Yeah, I got an idea there, mate.
I'll go to Colin. I know you and me know it. Colin?
Bottom of homegrown players.
League. Yeah, for giving homegrown players a chance in the first team. Playing minutes.
I'd say City.
Tottenham Hotspur.
Really? I can't.
Rock bottom.
Who have City got then? Because
Rico Lewis. There you go.
Rico Lewis. They've got players like that. Tottenham. The
only one I got for you, Com.
Yeah,
I said it fast, but I ain't got any other ones for that.
One.
That's so true. But look, Liverpool won the League Cup with playing kids.
That was Klopp taking the mick, which was quite funny.
But we all praised him for doing it, didn't we? We all praised him, and they beat a full strength Chelsea side. United, look at Mainu. Last season, you look at the youngsters that are coming through their academy.
United though, like have always had good English youngsters. To be fair,
but why can we not be a bit more? Why can Ange? This is my big frustration with Ange. He won't trust the young lads. They will go on there without fear. I was saying it last season when we were going through the injury guys with Philip, and I was saying give youth a chance.
The thing I don't understand, though. The thing I don't understand is that before we've got Ange in, or just when the rumours were kind of hotting up that we were going to get Ange, I remember, and I didn't see that much from it Celtic, so I took what people were saying. It's like, okay, you guys know more than me. But I heard all this stuff about how he loves to work with youth and how he brings all these youth players through. He hasn't at Spurs.
No.
The thing with Ange, you have to understand is, and this is the only time you're going to hear me say this, so you best treasure this with your life.
Clip it.
Ange's philosophy with younger players, especially youth players, is the same philosophy Sir Alex Ferguson had with his youth players.
Yeah.
He will not put them in unless they are ready.
Yeah.
And
so is it just a massive...
Not quite ready just yet.
So it's a massive kind of indictment then that basically our youth team, who everyone's kind of been crowing about, are not as good as, from Ange's point of view, not as good as they said.
We had to, well, no, I slightly disagree with you there, Tequila, because the youth team last year won the Premier League.
I know they did. That's what I mean. But that's what I'm saying to Com. It's like, so even though it looks like, or we thought that they were great, he doesn't see what we see, or his vantage point is different. I mean, I trust him over us, to be honest. Of course, I would.
Yeah.
He's the experienced manager, gets paid with his money, so I don't really understand it.
I don't think he doesn't see what you guys see, and he doesn't think, that there is good quality. I think it's the fact that your team at the minute, does gel so well. And you can't just, Man United have done it, but we were so goddamn lucky with Mainu. You can't just throw a under 21-year-old. You can't throw an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old straight into the mix and expect it to work. You got to give him a couple of minutes here and a couple of minutes there, and build him up slowly. And obviously you went on a fantastic run last season, and it just probably wasn't the right time to do it. Maybe we'll see a slight change this season. Maybe you'll give a bit of the youth more of a chance.
But what about these kind of wonder kids like a Wayne Rooney, who was thrown in when he was 16?
Yeah,
isn't it kind of character specific? Is what I mean. Does that mean that?
I suppose. But again, this goes back to what I said earlier, about generational talent. Everton threw Wayne Rooney, and it wasn't Manchester United. Everton threw Wayne Rooney in, and they only threw him in because they didn't have any other option. It's basically what Tottenham did with Harry Kane. They didn't have an option, so they had to go with it.
Yeah, I look, for me, I think you use your youth, but I think
that was Tim Sherwood. Apparently, that was Tim Sherwood.
It was Tim Sherwood
who was backing Harry Kane. Yeah,
because Levy wanted to sell him to Leicester for $100,000.
Imagine if he would have done that. Imagine if he would have done that.
I know. But look, you look at Michael Moore, you look at Alfie Devine, you look at the players that have played in pre-season. I think you can see a lot more of the youth this season than they are. But you can't win everything with youth. You need proper experienced players in there. And we've got the best defense we've had in a long time. We've got a set of midfielders I think are going to really gel. For me, Maddison needs to step up and be more consistent, because I don't think he was. Injury or no injury, I think he does go missing in games. In one of the preseason games, he was refusing to pass the ball to the likes of Moore and Donnelly and playing.
I hope that wasn't true, Dermo.
I hope it wasn't true. But you could hear Ange in that game going mental at them in the water break. He really did go mad at some of them players. And look, we have to see. There's a lot of talk. A lot of fans think Ange might be sacked by February, might be sacked by Christmas. If we don't get a good start. Look, I think there's a chance of that. I don't want. Look, let me say it properly. I don't want it to happen, but it might happen.
It could happen. Yes.
Then where are we?
Anybody could be sacked by Christmas. This is
but Levy's got such a look at our record. Other than like maybe Watford and Chelsea, we've got such an itchy trigger finger. We do. We go through managers so fast.
I think you'd be stupid to get revenge.
I would.
I agree with. I agree with you. I agree with you. Not because I think Ange is so amazing yet, but because any manager, you need at least. I think really you need at least 3 seasons.
You do.
That's what I personally think. Nobody ever gets 3 seasons, but to really imprint yourself and your style and everything, and to actually build a team, you need at least 3 seasons, and nobody ever gets them.
How many years did Fergie get before he becomes successful?
Well, he was. Well, as Com knows, he was nearly fired, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was nearly sacked.
Yeah. I mean, look, big up to Rosie as well. Great. Always see her in the chat, Rosie. Smash the likes and the sub. Hope you're well. We are grand, Rosie. And we've now been into the 1,880s early stages, which I'm over the moon with that as well. So thank you. We all do appreciate it here on THFC Till I Die. Oh God 10 says Rooney had no fear and was built like a mature man.
It's true. He physically he was well above. He should have been for his age. You know what I mean? He was a quick, mature.
I like the look of Devine. He's worth a slot in the first team squad alongside Great, I do too. Big up to Tin Man 007 as well. Big up Tin Man. Big up guys as well. All the original. All the original subscribers are coming back, and now Neil Shaft says, a few days before.
Yeah,
we will see.
Mourinho.
We will see. Well, listen, guys, we're going to leave that show here. It's been a great show. I've really enjoyed it. It's been good talking. Tequila, we're going to go to you first. Where can people find you first, sir?
You can find me obviously here with your good selves, and you can find me on the Play Pouch, which is a little gaming channel me and my mate run, where we talk about the video games industry. This week's show is kind of about, it's quite a dramatic show. Is games dying, or are we just, do you get to a point in your life where you become a bit too old for games and stuff like that? So never says Con, but Con's younger than both me and Dermo, so you can say that.
Never. I'm nearly 50 and I'm still gaming. Never.
Yeah, I've already put 200 plus hours into Resident Evil 4 remake. Never.
That's because it's got all that randomizer stuff, isn't it? Yeah,
that's great.
And Colin, always a joy to have you on the channel, man. Where can people find you?
You can find me here from time to time, where I do come on and spout absolute nonsense. So thank you for continuing to let me come on. You can find me on the Full Time Sports Network. Obviously, that's a channel that I run alongside Bobby. My Man United channel, if you want to hear me spout absolutely nonsense and be delusional like Dermo, I am over there as well. That's MUFC Spotlight. And mine and Dermo's gaming channel as well, which is Double Dumb Gaming, which we are going to be doing a podcast very shortly on our remakes better than originals.
Oh, I'll have to come on for that, guys. I've got some stuff.
Yeah. Feel free. Because I'm looking at we were going through the Marvel and DC games, weren't we, the other day? You and me were talking about that. So we are going to do that. On the gaming point, big up to Early Doors Football TV, the only West Ham fan I actually do respect. He is the only West Ham fan I like, by the way. But it says, big up, Dermot, coming in to smash the like. It's Wednesday, so I'm live and vibe. Well, if you do go over there, guys, to Early Doors, please say where you've come from. Let them know you have come over from THFC till I die. So put that in hello to him. So big up to you, Early Doors. Have a great show. Hot God says, never ever, mate. Neil Shafty says, 60, you're infants. He's still gaming. Almost 53 and still gaming, says Hot God.
Good.
Get back in your pranks. Get back in whatever. Prams.
He got there. He got there in the end. Yeah, he got
there in the end. Big up, Neil. Listen, that has been THFC till I die, your home of Tottenham past, present, and an exciting future of Andrew Postecoglou. We are back tomorrow, of course, at 7 o'clock with all the news, latest updates and news. It's myself, Philip, and Boris. I don't know if Colin's around. If he is, Colin would probably join us. Then Friday we've got the Cockerel Clock podcast as well, where we will be on talking about the week in football and other little story. But today, the podcast this week is down to Tequila. He's going to do the main. He's going to come up with the main story we're looking at. So it's down to you, Tequila. It's your podcast. You talk.
The Friday one. I'm not around tomorrow, lads. Did you know? Okay,
we talk what you want to talk about on Friday on the podcast. So it's your podcast.
Never give me that much power, don't I?
In a world where tequila has power.
Break. Hang on. Spurs breaking news. Tequila has the power. On that bombshell, we'll see you tomorrow.
You're serious as well, aren't you? God.
I am serious. Any breaking news between now and tomorrow night show, I'll be straight on with the very latest. If Emerson goes, if Tottenham sign the striker, we will come on. Whatever you do, enjoy yourself. Be careful out there. If you are going out in the UK, you are in the UK, go out in pairs. Let everyone know where you're going. Be safe. Look after one another. Come on, you Spurs. In Big Ange, we trust. Tottenham. The quad is on.
Delusional.
I'm waiting for you, Tequila.
Bless you there, mate. That's what I got to say.
No. What's your normal saying?
Quiz.